Good morning, one and all. I hope everyone doing is well. My name is Prakash from the Department of English, working as an assistant professor in MLRITM. Okay, today's session I would like to discuss the topic called entrepreneurship. So, in that, why startup needs to find its customers first. So, this is about the entrepreneurship and why the startups are lacking in the market, and what is the purpose of the customers, and how the startup need to be built up for successful company like that. So just move on to the topic. It is there. In this, I'm going to discuss on who is the author of this concept and what are the important elements should be remembered in this. So the following are the contents I'm going to discuss in the present session. It is there. Now move on to this. So the lesson name is why a startup needs to find its customer first. So this topic is being said by us by Pranav Jain. So who is a Pranav Jain actually? So Pranav Jain is an entrepreneur and author who advocates for customer first approach to building a startup. So he is one of the person who always seeks the importance of the customer in the market, and he also himself as an entrepreneur, and he also works as a financial advisor for the multinational companies also. And he is a content strategist with experience in logistics and real estate who has written for publication like Entrepreneur. So he is an experienced person who works in logistics, also works in real estate, and written a publication called Entrepreneur. So Pranav Jain wants to emphasize that the startup companies are needed to be focused on the customer base, not their product. So why customers he is emphasizing? What is the purpose we are talking about? Now we are going to discuss now. So why startup companies need customer first? We talk about important. Startup often focus on their ideas first. So ideas are innovations and product building it is. So they might focus on their idea first and their innovation, what they did it is. And he also talks about how the product is there, how product works, but they might not focus about how the product is helpful for the customer. So, but in this lesson, he also emphasizing and stressing that the customer must come before the product. It is what is the customers are expecting to reach, and what is the product they need it actually using purpose. So they want focus. So every entrepreneur need to understand the following elements. He emphasized that who will buy this product, why they will buy this product, what problem is being solved on this product. It is there. So these are the three elements. If the person is not willing to purchase your product, so your project might be innovative, okay, your project is new to the market also, they might not focus on you guys. So these are the three basic elements should be focused by the customers first. It is. So if you take an example of Dropbox, okay, so Dropbox is a file hosting services. It hosts the file services. File hosting services product it is there. Okay, it is American based company. Actually, this founder is Drew Houston. He's a founder. So when he was a student in MIT, he always forget his USBs, his USB flash drive it is. So always forget. So then he got an idea that so all the files or all the important documents should be saved in one cloud or any kind of a clouds he want to be saved it is there. So we may forget our pen drives and other equipment things, but whereas in mail we can access anywhere. So like this, when he started, before releasing his application part, before releasing his software related, he given a sample demo video for the customers. It is there. Okay, it is useful to them. So after the demo, people are attracted to his presentation part, and they accepted his product. Then it became a successful company right now. He has a tie-up with Microsoft, Apple, other companies also he has a tie-up. And you can take one more example here, Big Basket. In our India, we can take Big Basket, Blinkit. So how it is useful to the Big Basket? Most of the corporate companies, employees, or the student who lives in the cities, and the working professional, they don't have a time to go to the market and purchase the goods. And this Big Basket app help them to get the product to their home only. and it helps them. It prevents the time of a employee or a working professional, and it also a traffic problem or time saving. Okay, travel, all this kind of elements should be reduced from their workplace. So they prefer big basket to get the goods to the respective. So that's what it became a successful now India. Now, the key idea of the lesson it is successful startup begins with a real customer need, not just a unique idea. It is there. If you take example of okay successful startup it is. So what are their risk of a failure? So when you start a business, most of the people take the risk to become successful, but they never thought about we have a failure options also. So when successful for it is less amount of the failure should be there, and unnecessary cost. So useless cost should not be used in your product marketing or else your company related. Time wasted building and unwanted features it is needed it is there. So there is a one app. If you take an example of on a day-to-day life, there is an app called Abin. In our pilgrimages or else in tourist places, we cannot get accommodation. It is like most of famous tourist places are the pilgrim places. We may not get accommodation on spot. So hotels and resorts all be full. For example, if you take 31st of December, most of the farmhouses, most of the resorts and hotels are being booked. So we cannot get staying over there. Okay. So this company started to affordable price and it can be easy accessible for the customer part. So they started this platform. So instead of launching a full platform, the founders tested demand first by renting out their apartment. So they taken a apartment rent and with air mattress during a conference it is. They did so arrangement in the conference or workshop which is conducted. Hotel staying is very expensive for the individuals. So they tested this, and this small test revealed strong need or affordable stays. So this became a successful. You can take right now we can take an example of Tirupati. I guess everybody aware about Tirumala Balajis. There we cannot get hotels over there. Like there are some of the people are started like this only for per day 200 rupees for one single room. They given mattresses and everything. They started like this. So this became a successful hotel management activity present in India. Now, why customers come first? It is there. So if you take an example, why customers come first? Customers helps, and when customers are needed, things are three terminology here we can talk about. Which feature is useful for our day-to-day life? So how it is useful for the customer, and what is the price they are willing to pay, and then whether the product is worth building it is. Okay, if whether the product is good to pay the amount of this. So this much of amount is payable for us not. So these three elements should be focused. Which features are useful? If you take an example of Uber, before building a large scale app, the founders interviewed commuters who struggled to find rides during a peak hours. So they have an interaction with the customers. So why they are getting a lead to office or by reaching home it is. So after discussing them, they are implementing slowly it is there. Customer said they wanted a quick, reliable, one-tap transportation. This shaped the core app features it is. And if you take an example from Secunderabad to Banjara Hills Care Hospital. So on an average, it might be 6 to 10 kilometers on an average if you take about. Okay, in cities by car, if you go over there also, it takes 2 to 3 liters of petrol. Okay, so around it is 350. Around 350 we are paying over there. If you book a Uber cab or Ola cab, whatever it is there, if it might cost about 450, it is a worth. How we can say it's a worth? So 350 anyway we are paying for the fuel for our consumption, and drive safety and everything we look after the things it is. So people think about okay it is worth or we are using this application part it is. So next to the problem solution fit it is there. Identify a specific problem faced by a real group of people it is there. What are the specific problems the group of people are facing it is there. If you take about market, any of vegetable market if you take, so people don't like live in a public. So they don't want to wait for in the queue lines and all. Okay, so this might be the problem they might identify it. So queue line, heavy rush, and this, and understand how painful or urgent the problem is. So like somebody wants to go for urgency basis interview, sir. If you take an example, yesterday's it is Indigo. Okay, one student got a 2 lakh packages. It is an urgency, he need to report the organization part. So unfortunately, he is unable to reach the organization. So he lost his job. So you can understand how important the issue is. So second time he is good, like any other people are want to be purchase a Indigo flight ticket, they might not purchase because it is not reliable and it is not fulfill the desire of a customer over there. And create a solution only after confirming the people existing it is. So after the people information, interaction, feedback and existence, whether it is existed already, so what could be the new thing should be done it is. So after the taking example only, we can release the product. So right, if we take an example of Zomato, Zomato and Swiggy, right now the popular food applications we are using it is. So founders discovered that people simply wanted menus and basic restaurant detail, not complex feature it is. So what they needed, so nearby restaurants, which is a good and affordable price and tasty food. And so they started with a simple website rather than full-fledged application. Nothing is there. If you open the Zomato, it is there. If you click the biryanis, it will show the biryanis, if that only. So they will not show you about what are the ingredients that they are using. Okay, how famous the hotel is. Okay, we will not bother about it is there. Affordable, time consume and tasty of the food, they will focus. So now the Zomato and Swiggy became a successful companies in our India right now. So you can take the importance of customer feedback. So how you are taking a feedback it is. Early feedback helps remove the unnecessary features, improve product design, prevent costly mistake it is. So early feedbacks, if you take the feedback of a company or if any of product, so you can identify what are the unnecessary features we have in our product. So we can identify, if possible, we can remove it also. And if we take about the second option, so the product design is not attractable for the like customers, so they might change the product design also. So prevent costly mistakes. It is if you're not identifying, the same mistake should be continued, so it will be loss of a company and the financial disturbances takes place it is. So if you take an example of Swiggy right now, the customer feedback revealed the biggest pain point. What is the pain point they mentioned? People wanted fast and reliable delivery. And not a fancy app. Swiggy focused on delivery speed, which made it a market leader. So they are not going to app so beautiful and colorful design, everything it is. That only thing is they need fast and trusted employees who can serve the people. So they identified the mistake and they resolved it, and now it is a successful company in our society right now. So now move on. So what is a minimum viable product it is there? It is a simple version it is there. So which solves the problem of a customer, which solves the core problem. It's very important or prominent problem of it is. So what is the purpose of it? Tests the customer response it is there. If you release it is there, what is the response of a customer? We can identify, learn what works and what does not. Avoid building a full product without demand. So here, without a demand, if you are releasing a product, so it is a waste of money and waste of time only. The product should be kept in our storage, not for the audience, which is needed. If the demand is there, you can release the product. But without demand, if you are releasing a product, the people will not show interested to purchase your. So example, Dropbox demo video. The video acted as a prototype and customer interest validated the idea. Only then was the full app built it is. So Dropbox is sampling they given a demonstrated for the customers. If the customers are attracted towards this app, then only they started building application and start working on it. So before they not did, based on the demand, they are going to do the activity part itself. Now, so the basic examples of startup it is there. So what is many startup failed because of they created products no one needed it is. Like others succeeded because they validated customer needs. So first option, they are not focused customer what the product they needed, it is there. In the second option, they focused on the customer, trying to validate and reliability to get it, and they did it. For example, successful, we have Airbnb, Uber, Zomato we have, whereas failure, Google Glass and Segway, it is there. Okay, if you take an example of Google Glass, it is a very technical performance is good, but it is not useful for all the common people, it is. And second, everybody is not aware to synchronize the mobile application for the Google technology part, it is. And it is not affordable price, and its design is not also suitable for the general audience. So that's the reason the product is not successful. And benefits of customers feedback, it is an identification of a customers. What we are identification, if you are identified the customers are need, we can save the money. Yes, we can save the time also, and reduce uncertainty, and help to build something actually want, and improves chances of success in competitive market. Example, Swiggy, customer first approach, focus on reliability and speed, massive growth. So if you take an example of customers delivery and customers time, if you talk about Blinkit, you can take an example. Big Basket, you can take an example, because some product may not available in local fare. So Big Basket can be provided. It saves the time. Most of the professional don't have a time after completion of the work. They don't have much time to go to the market and purchase the vegetables and other things. So they will book the basket application. It will be given to you, and reduce uncertainty. So uncertainty is there. So whether we are believing the market, we can search whether the product is good or not. But here, so we don't have an option Blinkit people, because if the product is not good, we give the feedback now. So they have a problem that if the negative feedback is given to them, so the company reputation will goes down. So definitely they'll focus on this, and help to build something customerly actually want. So most of the customer in the busy schedule, they'll focus this only. And Swiggy also one of the major apps they are using it. Let's move on. So role of the empathy. Entrepreneurs must step into the customer's shoes, it is. So customer shoes means needs of a customer. So they should go for the customer needs, and they can identify if any kind of problem is being identified, the customer try to resolve it, or it might be chances, if they have a chances to try to replace their product with another. So that people can trusted them. If the problem is there, they try to resolve the issue. Empathy leads to better understanding and pain points, and smarter product decision, strong lasting customer relationship. So what happen if you are giving exchange offer also, if the mistake is there from our end, if you're giving an exchange, people realize that the company is taking back also, their response is very good. So he might suggest to other people also take this product. So this built very important. If you take an example, empathize deeply with the frustration of not finding rides. Designed a system where cars come to the customer, not the other way around. So most of the time it is people are await to get rides over there. But Uber, Ola, other application. So what they're doing, it is Rapido if you take. So they give the rider, they give the riders the nearby the customer locations only. If the customer located is Boinpalli is there, for example, so the riders who is available, who is going to drop any other customers, so they give a contact to the customers, riders who is available nearby only. So this reduce the time, and it also reduce the money also of an individuals also, and it also the aggression of the customer also it can be reduced. Now, so what are the key takeaways we are talking about in this lesson? So start with the customer idea. So start with the customer, not ideas. So we should not focus on our idea first, we should focus on our customer first. Validate the problem early. So you need to identify the problem of your product in a beginning. If you delay, it will be financial liabilities of your company. Use feedback to shape the product. We need to use the feedback to shape the product, it is. So we need to get the customer's feedback, it is. So what is the customer is given a feedback of it. Suppose if you take a Blinkit app, some of the product you may not find in that. For example, You may not find out the dry fruits in your Blinkit application. So if you given a feedback to the Blinkit, so all the products are not available in your respective market, respective product or respective application. So they might include it about dry fruits app in your respective. It is already available, but I'm giving an example. Built an MVP before investing heavily. So just you can identify it is there before investing in a product. You just identify the demand of a customer. So this product is demand, you can release. If the product is not there, if you are releasing demand, you need to, option is there, you need to sell your product in less price. So if the demand is more, so the customers are ready to pay anything. But if the demand is very less, okay, you can not possible. For example, if you take an example, day-to-day example, don't mind please. So lemons, okay, in summer it is in very high. You may get 20 rupees, 5 to 8 you get in summer. In summer you get 5 to 8 lemons in your day-to-day life. If you take now, the same lemons are being given 50 rupees for 1 kg. 50 rupees for 1 kg. So on an average you are getting 25 lemons it is there. So now the demand is less or demand is more? So demand is less. Okay, based on the demand, your product should be released. This is a agriculture product, we can't do that, but example I'm giving to you. So based on your demand, you should release your product it is. And customer discovery is a continuous journey it is. Customers, you need to be identified, is a lifelong journey it is there. Customers, so whatever their interest might be varies to season. Their interest might vary to the person also. So you need to identify the customer's journey also. Like the marketing strategy should be focused it is. So earlier, LIC, if you take about earlier, the middle-aged people are employable in the family. Earning person will take the LIC policy. Later they started for kids. Okay, later they started for the old people, like one by one. So they are based on the customer interest, they are improving their product it is. So that it can be considered it is. Now, there's a few examples of products which are being successful right now. Though with hotels, expensive, often full booked. So what is the problem they identified? So hotels and farmhouse or resorts or everything is booked and highly expensive. So for affordable for the middle class people, it should be started. What the founders, interior travelers understood the need for affordable and flexibilities, tested with the air mattress in their own apartment. What is an outcome right now? It is India's largest accommodation platform right now. It became India's largest accommodation. They find out the problem and try to resolve the problem for the customer needs. So what the customers are being expecting from us, they try to resolve it. So they made it and now it is become a successful company now. If you take one more example, Uber. So what is the problem they have been identified? Difficulty finding quick, safe cab rides in any 24-hour services. Now they founders did interview riders in big cities, identify the top need. What is the top need? It is speed plus convenience. It should be done and built a simple MVP. Simple MVP means based on a demand they started it is, and now it is a one of the topmost company it is there now. So take an example of Swiggy. So what is a Swiggy we can talk about? So Swiggy also same. So what is the problem they have been identified? So it is a slow delivery is a very slow it is there. So too slow and it is unreliable. Like this employee, okay, Swiggy are employee, Zomato employees are reliable because they need to send the product or they need to submit the product to the respective customer on time and it should be trusted them. So sometimes what they did, they used to eat and they send the product like the food for the customer. So it mean identify the customer, it is not reliable to. They started stopping this kind of activities by their employees. So they did and focus on speed and reliability, not futures, became India's top food delivery platform right now it is. Now, What is a failed actually? It's a Google Glass. We can take an example of it. Okay, what went wrong? It is high technology they are using and it is an expensive. And no real need is solved in this product. It is like day to day life, what is the problem we are facing? It be not solved over there. And awkward to wear. It is like you can see this, it's not beautiful to see it is there. So what is an outcome right now? Later end of the day, failed due to lack of validating in customer need. So if the Google Glass, to whom it is needed actually, they not identified that who needed this Google Glass first and how they are going to be use it. Okay, what is an advantage of the customer if they purchase this product? So it is failed to reach the customer. That's the reason it became a failed product. It is okay. So in conclusion, we should be closing that. So any startup need to focus on customer first. Why the customer? Customer are expecting, why should I buy this product? Okay, how it is helpful to my product, and okay, what I'm paying about the what particular product it is there. So real problem for the real people. It should be focused. And finding customer first, the foundation of sustainable entrepreneurship. You need to find your customer, who are your customer and what the product they are expecting from your organization or company it is. That should be focused. It is then only your company should be popularized in the market. Now, so these are the references I have been taken. Okay, hope so you've been understood about my lecture. Thank you everyone.